All right, so let's talk about adding summed variables. So I want to see the sum, the total of moves between elementary, middle school, and high school. For my data, I used 0 for no moves, 1 for 1 move during that time period, and 2 for 2 or more moves during that time period. So you are going to come to, I've got my 3 variables there. I'm going to go to the next one, click on it, and then up here under data, click on add. You want to make certain that you're on columns and not rows. We do not want to add a row. We want to add a column. We want to add, insert a computed column. So we will label this sum moves. Come over here to our function button, and you are going to scroll down under statistical to sum, double click it. If this doesn't come up, it's not going to work. Make certain that's up. And then you have to double click and add a comma between each of these categories. You will not be able to read your data if you do not add a comma. You're welcome to try it. So sum of moves, it tells me 4, 5, 5, 2, 0, 0. Then I'm going to come over and do the same thing for, I only added 3 national and local variables, and I used a 0 for local and a 1 for national. So I can just click on this. There's no other data, so it's going to bring me right to this. I don't need to add. I click new computed variable and come to the same thing. So sum national function sum pizza. I will show you what happens if you don't hit a comma. Coffee bakery. Oh, does not exist. Can't do it. So let's do this. Comma, comma. There's our data. All right, so first thing we want to do is first thing you want to do when you're looking at data is analyze and hit exploration. You always want to look at the descriptives of your data. So we look at descriptives. We are going to look at our summed descriptives. Sum move, sum national, and you want to look at, I've got 30 entries for moves, 0 are missing, but oh, over here, national, 28 entries and 2 are missing. I did not enter my data well. So we come back to data, we look at our data that's in front of us that we've collected. We say, oh, number 5 right here, I didn't enter him and he moved once. Oh no, we don't need moves. He moved however many times and he prefers national for bakeries. So we add our 1 and number 17, oh, same thing. He prefers national. So we add our 1. That fixes our data. It automatically corrects it over here in Jamovi. So now we can see all our data is input correctly. This gives us the mean, the median, standard deviation. Okay, so what we are then going to do, we are going to come back to analyses and we are going to click on regression and hit correlation matrix. We are only looking at 2 variables. So again, we can double click. Earlier when you're looking at exploration descriptives, you cannot double click, but when you are actually computing statistics, it allows you to. I don't know why. So sum moves and sum of national preferences. We want to include confidence intervals, 95%. And let's plot our correlation matrix. Okay, so let's come over here and look at our data. So correlation matrix, this is our sum of moves. It is comparing itself to itself, and so there's no correlation, right? But when sum of moves is compared to sum of nationals, then we get our data. So our Pearson's R. So our relationship is 0.134. So for my data, I have a small relationship. My p-value is 0.481. That tells me pretty quickly that my results are not statistically significant. And then I can confirm that by looking at my 95%. Confidence intervals, my upper level is 0.471. My lower is negative 0.238. That means I have a 0 in my data. So 0 relationship. We can see here that I do have a slight positive correlation, which is, again, what my Pearson's R shows. So I want you to get this far through your data calculation on Tuesday. We will review on Tuesday then how to write up your results. If you want to take a peek at that first, it is pages 238 and 239 in your textbook. This is how you will always read statistical analyses in a scientific journal.